What's up guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal development for INFJs and how to create an epic life on your terms. Today we're exploring why INFJs are the real alpha and why most people, including INFJs, believe they're Sigma. Before we get into the topic, I want to remind you, if you want to take the next step in creating your epic life, then work with me privately or join the Epic Life Masterclass. A couple of years ago, I created a video called INFJ the Real Alpha, and it was based on a documentary where it was all about the dynamic within wolf packs. The original way how people talked about alpha and beta in the first place, right? How it works in groups, in clans, in dynamics like the wolf packs. And in this documentary, they showed that alpha is not the one who makes everything happen. It's not the one who necessarily takes the charge in getting physical things done. Within the group, it was the alpha who had all the visions. It was the alpha who decided what decisions are going to be made when it comes to the entire group, where they're going to go next, what they're going to eat, and so on. But it wasn't, as I said, the wolf that made all the things happen. The wolf that makes all the things happen is the beta one. So it's the alpha who has all the visions. It's alpha who says this direction we take, and then the beta comes in and makes it happen. So looking at it from this perspective, you can very much understand why I would say INFJs are the real alpha, because we are the visionaries. What we lack most often is the fact that we don't believe that this is valuable. It's the fact that we underestimate how important it is to see the big picture, to see where to go, and to demand that this is being respected in the way it deserves. There is no such thing as alpha is better than beta, specifically not in wolf packs or in other animals. It's just the way their personality is set up. But still, there's a distinguishment between alpha being the one who makes all the things happen, who's always in charge, who takes the group and has the physical energy to move everything. It's divided between the alpha and the beta in the wolf pack. And this is a weird perspective if you think about it, how we as a society look at what we consider alpha. Alphas are the winners in life. Alphas are the ones that everybody looks up to. Every male wants to be an alpha, or if you feel like, oh, I could never be that, you have some kind of understanding about, okay, being alpha is just being a jock and pretending that you're something you're not. So there's a lot of judgment towards it. But alpha is said like to be the winner. That's how it is defined within our society. And while I was doing a lot of research on this topic, I was shocked how many websites say things like, okay, alpha is the guy who gets all the girls, or alpha females are the ones that are the most popular, the cheerleader in high school that everybody wants to be with or wants to be friends with. And it's like the stereotype you see in movies. And it's pretty much said like you either get born with this or not. You either have those qualities or you don't. So if you don't have them, don't ever pretend to be. You will always be the sidekick. You'll always be a beta male or beta female, which pretty much says you're the best friend. It is honestly considered like this is the way the world works. And I've seen this on more than one page, and I got really upset over it because it's not only not the way it's been seen in nature, for example with the wolf pack, but it's also so one-dimensional. And the worst thing about it is that this is the same thing I saw in the INFJ community over and over when I first started. See, when I started doing videos like this, I got into it 2014, and the scene was rather new. Okay, it existed for a couple of years, but it wasn't at all what it was today. And then even more than it was today, it was the narrative of we're the victims, nobody understands us, we're mysterious, we're the outcast, and that's just the way life will be. You'll always be the observer, you'll always feel different, you'll always feel disconnected because the world is just too different for you. And I never wanted to accept this. This was actually the fact why I started this channel, because I wanted to change the narrative, because I have gone down that road where I pretended to be that alpha in the way society explains it. So I was doing all the things that made me check off all the boxes, that made me feel like, okay, I can be popular now, or I can do the things that other people consider as doing something special, but I still felt completely isolated. I felt alone because I wasn't connecting through my own core core. I wasn't being my authentic self. And so I got to this point where I decided I have to change things. I have to become my own boss. I have to start connecting with people through my authentic self. And if that means some people will not like it, then this is okay. But you know what happened throughout that whole journey? I did become a winner in life. And I completely changed my understanding of what alpha means, what beta means, and definitely what sigma means. Because sigma is one of those types that most people say INFJs are. Sigmas are the mysterious ones. Sigmas are the lone wolves. It's the people who are not accepted by society, who always go their own path, and who suffer in silence, but they have so much depth. And there is such a romantic side to that. So I can understand why this is something that is not only seen within our INFJ community, but also beyond that. So even if people are not INFJs and they sort of feel like they fall into this category, they see themselves as this archetype of a Sigma, and that gives them comfort. And I completely understand where they're coming from. I also understand why there was all this narrative around INFJs with, I'm so misunderstood, I don't want to be in contact with so many people, I don't want to share so much of myself, I'm mysterious. I understand where this is coming from. I understand that we all need a validation for who we are. But what I'm here to tell you is that you can be so much more. Because most of those sites, and that is what really shocked me the most out of all, it said you're either alpha or beta, but Sigma is a choice. Sigma is you saying, I don't want to play by those rules and I'm just going to do my own thing, but I'm going to do it all by myself. And if you're a human being, you know that being completely isolated doesn't help anybody. It doesn't make you feel fulfilled. The reason why we feel lonely is not the fact that we don't have people around us. It's because we lack honest connection. And that honest connection can only happen when you connect through your most authentic self. But I refused, even back then, to accept the fact that if I'm going to be myself, then this will mean that I will isolate myself, that this will mean that I will not be part of society, that it will mean that I will be that outcast that has to live on her own forever. It felt like this in the beginning. It definitely did, because if I look at it very objectively, I don't live the normal life. I don't have a job. I am my own boss. I live outside of the norms of what is considered success in society on specific terms. But on other terms, I am exactly that. I am the winner in life because I do the things I want to do. I am my own creator. Those are the things I teach my clients, the people in the masterclass and in the bootcamp, because I honestly believe that it's possible. And the best thing about it is there is not one moment in my life where I feel alone. And I can guarantee you I did feel like the loneliest person you can ever imagine before I started this journey. So you can either look at those types from a perspective of how they really lived in nature, and you can see that alpha, for example, is the visionary type, beta is the executor, that there is no such thing as one type is better than the other. Or you look at it from a perspective of I define for myself that alpha is winning at life. And winning at life has absolutely nothing to do with playing by anybody's rules, playing by the rules that others might consider right, because who are others? The people who don't think I'm doing the right things in my life, they're not in my life anymore. I don't see that. Yes, there are people who think I'm wasting my life, but guess what? If I was staying in the position that I used to, which was in a six-figure job in my corporate world and being a consultant in banking, there would be people who are doing their own thing like I am doing right now that will look at that old version of me and say she's wasting her life because she's not doing what she loves to do in her heart. So I have no understanding of this concept of alpha being the best and alpha being the cheerleader, the jock, this stereotype that in our society has lost its meaning over and over again, because nowadays, guess what? We're all online. Nowadays, we connect with thousands of people, if not millions, through the internet. We can reach people that allow us to be as individually us as we want to be. This old concept is dying, and there are less and less people who look at this and find this to be the most valuable thing possible. So if you're still in a position where you still feel like that is winning when it has absolutely nothing to do with you, or you feel the people around you view this as winning, then remember that you're probably just not hanging around the right people. So I either look at it from a perspective of, as I said, how it's done in nature, or I decide for myself alpha as like A is the first, is the best. And being the best I can be means that I honor who I am. I don't chase after things that don't belong in my life. I accept myself, I meditate, I ground myself, I self-actualize. I make sure that I, at the end of the day, am proud of myself for what I have done. Because being somebody who's played both roles, playing and pretending to be exactly that role that I wasn't, that made me completely unhappy. And the money and any kind of status that I felt I gained wasn't worth it at all. I still felt completely empty. And now I can tell you, I know I'm winning at life. And I honestly believe that we can all do this. So don't ever believe that you were born a certain way and that's why you have to suffer throughout your life. You have to just figure out what it is that you want, not what the people around you think you should be doing. Because the people around you are just the result of the limiting beliefs you've had so far. And you can change and you can adapt, and with that, all the people around you will change as well. Doesn't mean that the people themselves will change, it will just mean that you start hanging out with other people, will start valuing other people, and you will put your own well-being first. Being an INFJ is not a curse. Being an INFJ can be the greatest gift because understanding who you are and having this knowledge to understand yourself and your preferences better gives you an amazing toolbox that can help you to figure out what the next step is in creating your epic life. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you cannot be completely fulfilled, because you definitely can. It's just about changing your mindset about what you consider to be winning at life. I hope that inspired you and motivated you to take your life into your hands and create an epic life on your terms. And as I mentioned in the beginning, if you want my help in taking those steps, then work with me privately or join the Epic Life Masterclass. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch my first video on INFJ meeting, the real alpha. Like always, guys, I wish you a wonderful day, a great week, and I talk to you next time. Bye.